Kutztown Live. Kutztown University Campus's campus and community interest radio magazine. You can call Kutztown Live at 610-683-4859. And now, your host for Kutztown Live, Juliana Jablonski.
Good afternoon and welcome to Kutztown Live, Kutztown University's campus and community talk show. I am your host, Juliana Jablonski, here along with my co-host, George Fladeland.
Here we are again on another Tuesday, a little gloomy outside, but you know, we're still here kicking it in the studio.
Yes, we are. Today we have Lori D'Onofrio-Galli of the Northeast Berks Chamber of Commerce, and she brought along not one, but two special guests along with her this afternoon. We have Jennifer Lau, owner of Farmhouse Flowers, and then Kennedy, the Chamber's intern. We then will be hearing from the Gamers of Kutztown. We also have a short interview about SAE's Talent Show, and we will have WALN's Ned Richards here with us this afternoon.
Full show.
Here with us now is Lori D'Onofrio-Galli and Jennifer Lau, owner of Farmhouse Flowers, and Kennedy Cavalier, a senior at Kutztown Area School District, the Chamber's intern. Hello, all of you, and welcome to Kutztown Live.
Hello, Juliana. Thank you for welcoming us, and I'm very pleased to be here with my guest today. In a few minutes, we'll be learning more about what they do and their relationship with the Chamber, but as you know, as always, I have a few events to promote first.
All right.
Coming up next Friday, November 17th, we will host our monthly Chamber breakfast meeting. This event will be held at Keystone Villa at Fleetwood, which is actually in Blandon, and our keynote speaker will be Ken Snyder, who is an ambassador for the Foundation for Free Enterprise and Education, and he will have 3 students who are graduates of their summer program, all from member school districts, to share their experiences and give testimonials about the program. Also coming up this month in November, we have Small Business Saturday, and the Chamber is a neighborhood partner along with Kutztown Community Partnership, and we are organizing and promoting Saturday, November 25th, as Small Business Saturday here in Kutztown, and we have quite a few retailers who will be participating, and most of the stores will be opening around 9 a.m. that day. Everyone who shops in Kutztown will receive a canvas bag filled with information and some little trinkets or tchotchkes from the participating retailers. Coming up at the end of the month, the Chamber is also involved as a partner in 2 additional events. One will be held right here on the campus of Kutztown University at the McFarland Student Union, and that is called Make Your Website Work for You with Google. So a Google representative will be here on campus. You do need to register to participate, and all this information can be found at our website at northeastberkschamber.com, and that is hosted by Berks Schuylkill SCORE and the Northeast Berks Chamber of Commerce. So you won't want to miss that if you're interested in learning about how to get found with Google and using all the right strategies with your website development. Also, the Chamber is partnering with the Berks County Intermediate Unit, Greater Reading Chamber, and the area school districts for a program called Building Pathways Between School. This symposium will be held on November 30th, earlier that morning at 7:30 at the Crown Plaza. And again, that information can be found at our website. Both of those require a paid registration. Again, you can find us at northeastberkschamber.com. Today, I'd like to introduce first Kennedy Cavalier. As you mentioned, Kennedy is a senior at Kutztown Area School District. Her mother is also acquainted with me through her Chamber volunteer efforts, and Kennedy this fall is one of 2 interns that the Chamber is hosting from Kutztown School District. Kennedy, I'd like to welcome you to Kutztown Live, and I'd like you to tell the listening audience a little bit about yourself and your interests and hobbies and your school activities.
Thank you, Lori. As she said, my name is Kennedy Cavalier, and I'm a senior at Kutztown Area Senior High School, and I'm the 2017 fall intern at the Chamber of Commerce. My school activities include cheerleading, which senior night was just this past Friday, so my cheerleading career is now over. Also, I am very active in the FFA chapter as well. I served as secretary for the past 2 years. I am also the president of the Kutztown So-and-So's 4-H Club and a team leader at the 4-H Dairy Club. In these 2 clubs, I practice teen leadership roles and helping younger children and members grow in their 4-H career and help them become a better leader in the community as well. My mother is also the secretary of Friend Inc., so I like to help there and volunteer my time and give back to the community a little bit. And along with that, I also help volunteer with Rotary International and like to do some of their activities like their speech competition in the spring. Thank you, Lori.
Well, you're welcome. Didn't you receive a recognition from the farm show about a year ago? Why don't you tell us about that?
Yes, so I competitively sew, and I take my garments that I make to the farm show, and I get judged in the family living department and also the Fashions with the Flair fashion show, and I've received multiple awards in both departments, and that is a very strong interest that I take in, and I want to promote sewing in the younger generation.
I think that's amazing because I can barely sew a button on, okay? So I'm very impressed by that. Well, thanks for joining us today, Kennedy. We're thrilled to have you as an intern at the Chamber, and you're obviously very involved in your community. That's very impressive. Next up, we have Jennifer Lau. She is the owner of Farmhouse Flowers in Kutztown, not too far from the university. And Farmhouse Flowers just joined the Chamber about 2 weeks ago. So welcome to the Chamber, Jennifer. We're very pleased to have you as a member, and we look forward to partnering with you and getting you engaged in our Chamber activities. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you started your business?
Thank you, Lori. Well, my name is Jennifer Lau, and like Lori said, I'm the owner of Farmhouse Flowers. I am a Kutztown native. I grew up in Kutztown, but I actually lived in California for many years before recently coming back here. And flowers is my second career. I am a social worker by trade. I have a master's in social work. I've done that for about 20 years, and but gardening and flowers has always been my passion. I've always kind of done it on the side, and in the past year, I have been taking classes at Longwood Gardens. I'm pursuing a certificate in floral design, and I've just become even more passionate about it, and it has prompted me to then start my own business and kind of do what I love full time.
Now, how does that certificate, I don't know much about flowers, but I know there's something called a Master Gardener. Is that in any way related to what you're studying?
It is similar to that. There's core courses that you have to take to become a floral designer, and there is then an exam at the end that I'm going to hopefully be taking in the next year.
That's great. Now tell us where you're located and how we can find out more information about Farmhouse Flowers.
Sure. I'm located actually right down the street from the university on Kutztown Road. It's 15085 Kutztown Road. It's in the same building as Herb Electric, Nooks and Crannies, West End Salon. There's a bunch of businesses in there. And if you want to find out more about us, you can check out my website. It's farmhouseflowersdesign.com.
Now, Jennifer, what are your hours, and do you deliver outside the Kutztown area?
We deliver to Kutztown, Fleetwood, Topton, and Kempton. And our hours are Monday through Friday, 10 to 6, and Saturday, 10 to 2.
All right. Well, I guess I just have a few quick questions for the both of you then. Kennedy, what has been some of the most memorable things that you've learned while being an intern?
Some of the most memorable things that I've learned from being an intern at the Chamber with Lori is that there's always something that needs to be done, and whether it might be long-term or short-term, I'm always trying to be on the ball to get it done for her in a quickly manner and the right way.
And what types of things are you doing while you intern there?
A later project that I just recently finished was making graphs for her based on the top
Investors.
Investors, thank you, for the Chamber from 2015, 16, and 17. And my next project is making Christmas ornaments for the potluck giving tree in December.
Oh, that's super cool. You're already interning in high school. Is this like a high school thing or just kind of building your resume for life? Because I know I'm a junior in college and I haven't even had much internship experience yet.
It's both a resume builder and just a high school thing to get my feet wet.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Is this something you're interested in doing in the future, or is just this something that came up?
Yes, I do have an interest in business. I did take an intro to business core class, and it really piqued my interest to work with Lori.
That's super cool. Well, thank you for coming on to the show this afternoon. It was great to have you.
Thank you.
And then Jennifer, I know you mentioned you are farmhouse flowers, and I was super interested in that because I love all different plants, and my friends and I just like to go to different stores and look at plants and flowers and all different things. And how did you really get interested in plants and making your own business and making flowers and things like that?
Well, I think it started from gardening and just growing a lot of plants and flowers myself at home. I grow sunflowers, zinnias, cosmos, dahlias, all kinds of flowers at home. And then, obviously cut flowers are easy to arrange. And so I kind of just started, at that point.
What is your favorite flower? Do you have one?
I do. Anemones are my favorite flower, the white with the black center specifically. They're very delicate flowers, and they kind of take a while to open up, but I think they're just really cool.
And is there like a top selling flower most people like request, or is it just kind of different every day?
It can be different every day, but I would say roses, of course. Everybody loves roses, and so that's pretty much the top seller.
Well, that's super cool. Well, again, thank you both for coming on to the show this afternoon. And again, thank you, Lori, for stopping on in to keep us up to date on all things going on within the Chamber. And we will be back with more of Kutztown Live.
My name's Eric Wolf. The sun is not unlike a pot of boiling water in some ways. It bubbles, it churns, and occasionally its magnetic fields will get all tangled up. However, when these magnetic fields get too tangled up, they snap back to their correct position,
telescopic topics,
often in
a look
violent
into the
ways.
world above us.
When this happens, it creates a large cloud of radiation, as well as disturbing the surface of the sun. These two events are called solar flares and coronal mass ejections. Now, the difference between these two terms is that a solar flare deals only with radiation such as X-rays, while a coronal mass ejection deals with actual plasma from the sun being thrown out into space. Although these two events are two completely separate occurrences, they very often will happen simultaneously. There is a definite correlation between the two. And speaking of correlations, these two events usually happen when there are also a lot of sunspots that are visible. Sunspots don't form unless there's a lot of magnetic activity happening in the area. And this activity is what triggers a solar flare. Once the radiation from the flare is in space, it, of course, will blast into every planet in its way, including the Earth. If the planet has an active core and a strong magnetic field, it will be able to protect itself from most of the radiation. However, if a planet does not have a magnetic field, its surface will be blasted by radiation. This, although not damaging to the planet, will certainly harm any theoretical life. When one of these waves of particles hits the Earth, it does a number of things. It can disrupt satellites, electronics, and power systems. It also causes a lot of activity in the ionosphere, whose disturbance is observed to study solar flares. Its disturbance has a side effect, though, and that is that it creates a spectacular aurora borealis. These events can be viewed sometimes as low as the United States when there is a strong solar storm happening. All of these facts, when put together, show that the sun is not just a boring old ball of gas floating in space, but rather is a sleeping giant that could awaken at any second with a tumultuous rage.
Telescopic topics, a look into the world above us. Stay tuned to KUR for more telescopic topics. Telescopic Topics is a production of the KU Physical Sciences Department and is recorded by KU astronomy students in the studios of KUR. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.
This is Officer Riz from Reading Police Department. If you have your wipers on due to inclement weather, you must turn on your headlights. If you don't follow this law, you could be fined. So remember, wipers on, headlights on. It's the law. To learn more about traffic safety, visit justdrivepa.com.
Brought to you by PennDOT and this station.
Welcome to Kutztown Live, Kutztown University's campus and community talk show. I'm your host, Juliana Jablonski, and I'm here with Connor and Jacob from the Games Club. Hello, and welcome to Kutztown Live.
What's up?
Yeah.
So, do you want to start off by telling us a little bit about what your club is?
Yeah, I'll take it away. I'm Connor. I'm the vice president, and Games Club is just a place on Wednesdays where we hang out and play whatever games people bring, although we usually have a set few, like Smash Brothers, PM and 4, I don't know, what else is there usually? Magic the Gathering's pretty huge. I can't off the top of my head think of all of them. We usually have Mario Kart, some Overwatch, some Hearthstone.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm missing a huge one here, but that's fine.
That'll be fine.
You can
We'll
always
see it when they come.
If it comes to you, you can just say it. And when and where does your club meet?
Ordinarily, we'll meet every week on Wednesday around 7 p.m. Typically, we'll be in the NPR of the MSU, but sometimes we get kicked out, and so if we're not there, we'll be in the president's room.
The NPR is the large auditorium that's usually housing most of the lectures and stuff, if you don't know where that is.
All right. And how did you two get involved in this club?
I heard about it because of him. We went to high school together, and he said, Kutztown's got a nice games club, so come to Kutztown. So,
is that why you came to Kutztown? Because they've got a nice games club?
That was one of them, I'll be honest, yeah.
All right.
It's worth the tuition, I promise.
Yeah.
Nice. And what are each of your favorite memories of being a part of this club, or what's something that stands out to you the most about being in this club?
It's just a great group of people. Like, mostly, I go there to play games and stuff, but it's mostly just because the people are so fun and warm and welcoming. It's just it's a bit of a romp, you know. It's just a fun place to go on Wednesdays where you get bored. It makes Kutztown, you know, going to class is a little more tolerable. It's the middle of the week, it's Wednesday, you know.
Then once you're over that Wednesday hump, you just have nothing to look forward to.
Yeah.
No, don't say that.
Oh, yeah.
And how can people get involved? Should they just show up, or should they message you? Or?
They can feel free to just show up. We have a sign-in sheet that's usually at a front desk when they walk in. We'll have someone greet them, try to brief them on what they can do at club. We have a couple of groups that they can get in for online, like Facebook or a voice service called Discord, where people frequently chat with each other and just exchange information.
And with that, if they have any questions or want more information, I know you mentioned you have a Facebook. Do you know what the name is, or where should they go for more information like that?
It's under Facebook as Gamers of Kutztown University or Goku. If you search one of those, it's likely to come up.
All right. Well, are there any final thoughts or things you'd like the listeners this afternoon to know about your club or anything in general?
Well, what we have coming up next semester, around April, we're thinking, we don't have a set date yet, we have a large event that Gamers of Kutztown University and a bunch of the other fun clubs on campus put together called KutzCon.
Okay.
Which is just a couple of the clubs participating. We all rent out the AF.
The whole thing.
Get a bunch of really cool vendors to come and sell their stuff. Each of us does like a cool thing out on the main floor for each hour,
Free
and then
food.
we all have do we have free
pizza?
food? We have free
there's
food.
Pizza and drinks.
And
there'll be a few tournaments and whatnot. We also once a semester, we just had ours before we're recording this now, but we have an ACE event. So with ACE, the big events. Association of events on
Association of Campus Events.
Yeah, they give us some money to give prizes out to a multitude of tournaments, and that just happened last week. But we'll have another one next semester, probably midway through, or towards the end. So that'll be advertised for sure.
Yeah, and we'd love to have you back on KUR to promote that upcoming event too. So feel free to do that. Well, thank you so much for stopping into the KUR studios this afternoon. It was wonderful to have you two.
Great to be here.
It was great to have you, and hopefully maybe we'll hear from you sometime next semester then.
Yeah.
All right, and we will be right back with more of Kutztown Live.
Mad Dogs in Kutztown voted best new restaurant in Kutztown. Burgers, hot dogs, breakfast sandwiches. Priding themselves in the freshest homemade foods, Mad Dogs invites everyone to enjoy outdoor seating. Providing fast, free, no minimum delivery anywhere on campus in all of Kutztown. 484-648-2808. 484-648-2808. Open 7 days a week, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Soon everything will be alright, hot dog.
Hey, you're listening Off the Top Rope, your local spot for anything and all things WWE here at Kutztown University on every other Monday at 5 p.m. Or if you can't catch that, we're right online for you, www.kutztown.edu/KUR. Here on the radio voice of Kutztown, KUR.
Back to Kutztown Live. My name is Michael O'Mara. I'm the president of Kutztown University Radio, and today we have Patrick Moyer in the studio. How you doing, Patrick?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm miserable. And it's week 11, and the sky is representative of my soul. So, what are you doing here, buddy?
I'm here because I am the newly elected president of the Sigma Alpha Epsilon fraternity.
Congratulations, Patrick Moyer.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So what? Other than being president of the SAE fraternity, who are you? Tell the audience about Patrick Moyer.
I'm a sophomore here at Kutztown University. I'm a communication studies major, and I am actually from Kutztown, Pennsylvania.
You're a townie.
I play double role as a townie and a student.
And you're, like you said, you're here with SAE. Why did you join SAE?
I joined SAE because my senior year in high school, they started helping out with a group called Kutztown Strong, which combats drug and alcohol abuse within the local community. And at Kutztown High School, we did a whole bunch of events, and SAE would come to the events and basically help run them, interact with the students, and I really got to know some of the brothers and just really loved everything they did in our community as well as here at the university community.
Wow. Okay. Well, when I think about that interaction, how you met through your high school, do they do a lot of things like that? Is that how others get involved, or is there a different way completely how others get involved with SAE?
I mean, I feel as if most people get involved by seeing our involvement around the community as well as here at the university, and I just feel like we just have so many events that we do that really brings people out, like our boxer trot that we'll be doing next semester.
Press the flesh. You get out there, man. You shake some hands. You smile at people. Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, we get out there, we do stuff, and as well as, we have brothers that are involved in numerous things on campus. For example, I'm also a presidential ambassador. I'm on the student government board. We have another brother that's on the student government board as well. We have brothers that are involved in a whole bunch of different clubs and organizations other than SAE.
Yeah, so it kind of motivates, the fraternity in a way motivates its members to engage and interact with the community in different ways other than just Greek life.
Yes.
Interesting. That's fantastic. So you mentioned that the fraternity does a lot of events on campus, off campus, in the community. What other events do you have coming up that people should look out for?
So this upcoming Sunday, November 12th, there's going to be a fall festival.
Right around the corner.
On the DMZ, which is going to be part of Paint the Town Gold, which the Student Government Board is planning. It's going extremely well.
Shout out to Rachel Wolf, who was on last week, putting together a phenomenal event.
So we will be having a table there where we'll just be, having you guys get to know us better, as well as, doing some recruitment for next semester if you're interested. And we'll also be promoting our SAE Talent Show, which is coming up on November 15th. And it's $2 to get in, and all the money we raise through that will go to our philanthropy of Kutztown Strong.
Mm-hmm. Where's the talent show going to be at?
It's going to be at Schaefer Auditorium from 6 to 9.
6 to 9 p.m. on which date again? Wednesday, November 15th. Wednesday, November 15th, 6 to 9 p.m. SAE Talent Show. Just $2 to get in.
$2 to get in.
I actually worked the event last year. It's actually Kean McClellan, who I believe is pretty much coordinating this whole thing, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. He was in KUR at the time. He came on right after my show last year at this time, and I was working at Schaefer Auditorium as a production assistant. And I remember when that event went off, it was a full house. Almost every seat that I could see was filled. And there was a lot of people engaged, a lot of people interacting, a lot of people going, oh, and a lot of people going, ooh. So people were involved, people were engaged. And I remember it being almost maybe a week or two after the Mike Posner debacle. Mm-hmm. So to see that level of engagement on a local talent show and to see how many people came out was really satisfying. And I mean, that was your first one, right?
Yeah, that was our first one. This one's our second one.
So you already had a really, really good first one, and I'm only assuming the second one's going to be a bigger hit.
Yeah, we have a whole bunch of different talents ranging from a whole bunch of different things. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be a really great show that I think everybody should come out to. So.
Yeah. Is there a limited amount of tickets available?
No, we're going to fill that place up.
Yeah. Okay. I like the sound of that. All right. Well, Patrick, thank you for coming on, and congratulations on becoming the SAE president.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
KUR. Keep doing great things, and hope to see everybody at SAE Talent Show on Wednesday, November 15th.
All right, thank you. My name is Michael O'Mara, and you're listening to Kutztown Live. To follow Kutztown Live on social media, be sure to visit the Kutztown Live Facebook page or use the hashtag Kutztown Live.
If you're having trouble paying your home heating bills this winter, there is help available. I'm State Senator Judy Schwank with the Pennsylvania Moment. The Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program, or LIHEAP, provides financial help with heating bills and furnace repairs to those who qualify. For more information, call the LIHEAP hotline at 1-866-857-7095. I'm State Senator Judy Schwank with the Pennsylvania Moment.
Tune in to KUR every Tuesday morning from 10 to 11 Eastern Time for Kutztown's Country with Juliana Jablonski, playing the top country hits of today and some of the great hits from the past. Streaming online at www.kutztown.edu/KUR. KUR, the radio voice of Kutztown University. Good afternoon and welcome back to Kutztown Live, Kutztown University's campus and community talk show. I'm your host, Juliana Jablonski, along with my co-host, George Fladeland. You just heard my quick advertisement shout out to me and Kutztown's Country on Tuesday mornings. Be sure to tune into that. But right now we are here with Mike O'Mara to talk about the Student Government Board nominations that are coming up. Hello, Mike.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
Welcome to Kutztown Live.
All right. So my name is Michael O'Mara. Though I am the president of KUR, I am also the PR chair for Kutztown University's student government. And we have a nice little thing coming up. In fact, it's the nominations and then elections for seats on the student government board. They start next Tuesday. Actually next Monday, the 13th, nominations over on KUnited. Good old KUnited. You can sign up through the org sync link that'll be shared throughout the entire span of the week. And those nominations will be eligible from the 13th to, I believe, the 20th. That whole week, you're going to have eligibility to nominate yourself on Student Government Board. And there's a bunch of seats available right now.
And can anyone nominate themselves, or how does that work?
Anyone can nominate themselves as long as they can. There's, I think, 9 seats right now. And there's several that are for instance, liberal arts and sciences. If your major is within that college, that's a question you can have for your advisor. If you're a bio major, congratulations, you're liberal arts and sciences, then you are eligible for a seat on student government in that college. I know there is a VPA spot, Visual and Performing Arts, the college that I'm in. There's a seat available for that, and there's several at-large positions as well as a new student position. So there's several, I think there's total 8 or 9 seats at the moment. And when you go on and nominate yourself for KUnited, you'll be able to see those seats. And then the election process starts I believe the 27th into the December 1st. So 12 to 12, both times. That 13th, 12 o'clock. And I think the 18th or the 17th ends at 12 o'clock.
And if someone has questions about what a position is or anything, would they contact you or Student Government Board in general, or how would they get in contact with the person they need to get in contact with?
More than welcome to contact multiple things. So, for instance, KUSGB is on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at KUSGB. And if you want to reach out to me, you totally can. I'm available almost in any way. Hashtag RDIO Playtime. I'm not trying to push my own show, but if you search that hashtag, or you'll be able to find me directly. My name is Michael O'Mara. I'm the PR chair for Student Government. Or you can use you can reach out to me via email at momar295@live.kutztown.edu. That's momar295@live.kutztown.edu. You reach out to me that way, and like I said, I'm the PR chair. I can assist you with almost anything, and if I don't have the answers for you, I'm going to find someone that has the answers for you. That's what I do, and I'm going to do it well. So if you are interested in doing something like that on Student Government, where you represent the voices of your community, and you give people a platform to deal with concerns that are happening in their classrooms and day-to-day life, Student Government's the place for you.
Alrighty, well, thank you so much for stopping into Kutztown Live this afternoon to update us on that upcoming election. All right, we will be right back with more of Kutztown Live.
Thanks, Mike.
Those big shot stations with the big shot budgets have all sorts of ways to gauge listenership to their stations. KUR doesn't have that kind of budget. Our mission is serving you, and with that comes limited resources. But one way you can give back is simply letting us know you're out there. That's right. Whether you're listening to this right now at 3 p.m. or 3 a.m., call us now, leave a message, and let us know you're listening and whether or not you like our programming.
This is John. I'm calling from Shillington, Pennsylvania. So the lava lamp is on, and I'm listening.
Hey, just wanted to say we're listening here in Bartow, Pennsylvania. Thanks for the radio station.
My name is Rita. I live in Midland, Texas. I just want to let you know how much I enjoy your station. It's relaxing. The music is great, and it just reminds me of just good times.
I watch and listen to your station many, many times during the week, and I enjoy it. I live in the borough. Thank you very much.
This is Bob from Kutztown. Keep up the good work. I enjoy listening to your station, especially when you play mixed music like big band and jazz.
Hey, KUR, it's Jim. I listen to you guys whenever I drive through campus. I have it set to my preset on my car, but I always try to tune in. If I have to pick somebody up on campus or something, I always tune in as well. And keep up the good work.
Hi, I just want to let you know that we really enjoy your radio station. We're at work right now. It's Linda, Sue, and Mary. Say something on the radio about us.
Okay, Linda, Sue, and Mary, I'm saying something on the air about you. Thanks for listening. That's all we ask. Calling us will not put you on any junk mailing lists. It'll only go to help us gauge where people are listening from. So give us a call now and let us know where you're calling from, how you listen to KUR, and feel good about yourself for helping out a non-profit community radio station. 610-683-4059. One more time, 610-683-4059. Please take a minute to let us know you care. Thanks for listening to the radio voice of Kutztown University, KUR.
Hello and welcome back to Kutztown Live, Kutztown University's campus and community talk show. I'm your host, Juliana Jablonski, along here with my co-host, George Fladeland. And here with us now is Ned Richards. Hello and welcome to Kutztown Live.
Well, thank you very much, and I certainly do appreciate coming here.
It is great to have you.
Talking to all the students today, had a really great time on that happy hour with DJ Thursday or whatever his name, that name, and Vinny. Can't forget Vinny, and that was a great show. I enjoyed that as well.
So do you want to start off by telling the listeners who you are and what you do?
Well, November the 17th this year, I'll be starting my 49th year in radio broadcasting. That's old.
Wow, 49 years.
49 years. That's older than probably your parents.
Close.
Close, very close.
Yep.
But I'll be starting that. My goal back in 1969 was to go 50 years.
Wow.
And, good help of the grace above, I hope to make that 50 years. I've been on several radio stations. Started out in a little town called Belfast, Maine. WBME, never forget it. First 3 weeks was the hardest of my radio career because I was a new kid coming up there playing rock and roll. And that was a time when up there, they listened to Tony Bennett, Frank Sinatra, Andy Williams, middle of the road type music. And November 17th, that Monday morning, went completely different. And I played stuff like, Janis Joplin, the rock and roll, Rolling Stones, whatever we had at that time, we played. And, of course, so many of the townspeople were older, and they did not appreciate that music. And the first thing I said wrong on the radio, I was doing a newscast, and up there it's Bangor, Maine.
Okay.
Well, around here we say Bangor.
Okay.
The phone's lit up. First off, that was my first strike against me besides playing the music. And, okay, now we got that all settled in there. And the Presbyterian minister was saying at the church, every Sunday that the devil has arrived. Satan has arrived here, influencing our children with that music of Woodstock, which of course I was at Woodstock.
Oh gosh!
And it was he's taking our children away from us, and all this and that. I was really, really a bad guy. I was Satan. I was a long-haired hippie. I wore bell-bottom pants, and I smoked. Never smoked in my life, nor recreational drugs. And, of course, that was part of his thing. The devil is here. Satan has arrived in our town. We got to get rid of him. We got to do this. Went on for 3 weeks at the church. Finally, the secretary said to me, Ned, you really got to go and talk to this minister and show him that you're not a long-haired hippie. And I said, okay, all right. So I went to church and sat in the back, and I said, okay, he comes on there, devil is here. I can feel him, really Presbyterian, I can feel him. He's in our presence. I know he's here. At the end of the of church, everybody left, and of course he was standing out there and shaking everybody's hand. And secretary and her family went in front of me, and I was the last one out. And he says, oh, son, he says, we find a new face here in our congregation today. And he looked at me and he said, can I have your name? And he reached out to shake my hand. And I said, I'm Satan.
Oh, goodness.
No.
He looked at me and he said, Satan? What? I said, I'm the guy you're talking about the last 3 weeks. Is your hand sizzling, Reverend? Because I was holding on to it and I wouldn't let it go. Oh. I said, I'm not the devil. I'm here for the kids in our community. I'm playing their music. It's time to move on, a little bit. And as time went on, I made the first food bank in that particular town. And I did a lot for the churches. I did a lot for the schools, for the kids. And it was baccalaureate, right before graduation, he publicly said, I have to say I'm sorry to Ned Richards because I judged the book. I judged the cover before the book. Mm-hmm. So, and after that, it was okay.
Wow.
They enjoyed it because I went out in the public and I was with the people. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a people person. And the music we were playing was just like the music of today, something a little different. Mm-hmm. My generation...
I mean, the music of today is terrible. Don't make that comparison.
Not all of it.
No, not all of it. Do I listen to hip-hop and rap? No. No, I don't. It's just not... I don't listen to it. I've been through many format changes throughout all my 48 years. I started with the rock and roll. I came back here to Reading, actually, WRFY. And then I went from here... I went to WPXN in Secaucus, New Jersey for the disco era. And that, to me, was the most fun, probably. I'm having fun now, but we'll get to that. That time was the most fun I ever had on the radio because it was great music. It got you up. It got you motivated. Our station was located next to a ballroom that was... owned by the station, and they would bring all the disco stars in. So I had the chance after their performance that they would come to the station right next door, and we would chat, interview. You know, I met the likes of Gloria Gaynor. I met Vicky Sue Robinson, fell in love with Yvonne Elliman. If You Can't Have You, you know, that song that she sang. The Village People. The most craziest guys I ever had in the studio.
Oh, how were they?
They came in costume.
No way.
They came right next door from their show. And they're the cop, the Indian, all this and that. And they were fun. They were actually fun to interview. It was a great group. And some of the Weather Girls were fabulous, you know. And all of them were just really gracious people. Alicia Bridges, all the great disco songs, the great music of that particular time. I enjoyed it. And I was sad when the format changed. And, of course, they got rid of all of us. And that's what happens when formats change. You're gone. Your history. And then I came back to WLEV in Easton at that time, which is still a big FM radio station. I did a lot of night shift because I was the only guy with a first-class federal communications. So if something would break, I could fix it. I wouldn't have to call in anybody. And that was part of why I got into radio, was the fact that I was knocking on doors when I was a kid. Nobody would, even give me the time of day because I didn't have the experience. So I figured I'm going to go to Philadelphia Wireless and get my radio technology license, my radio technician's license, and I did. And I got my first-class license. At that point there, the radio stations wanted you because, okay, you can fix the place if it breaks.
Was radio something you always wanted to do growing up? Or when did you become interested in being on the radio?
When I was like 13, 14.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. I just enjoyed listening to the people, I think, because they were personable. Radio back then, you had to have that one-on-one. It may be have been a vast audience, but when you listen to the radio, that guy was like talking to you, So it was like that, and that's what I wanted to do. Again, Allentown, very hard market to break into, and I went to college and got my my FCC license, my first-class license, and went on from there.
And you've been in radio for quite some time. How have you seen radio change over this time?
Corporate radio has ruined radio.
What do you mean by corporate radio?
These corporates that own the radio stations, per se, CBS, Clearwater, Citadel, all of them, they give you a format, and this is what you do. For instance, back in the day, I would talk about a record or whomever did the record, Chuck Berry, or whom it may be. Now they gave you a liner card, Ned Richards, just the right mix on WLEV. That was it. You said any more, you got in trouble. The music, it was a music and commercials that they wanted to make the star. Not that I was saying I was a star, but this is not what I was used to. You had to have a personality. You were a part of that community instead of just reading a liner card. And that, I think, has ruined a lot of radio because it's just that. I mean, today, a guy goes into the room just like this, does the weather, does a few liners, Cat Country 96, and then that's it. He leaves. And automation puts that voice wherever they want to.
What advice would you give for someone going into radio now in today's?
In today, it's very easy because it's easy to get into radio because you'll work cheap. My suggestion and I don't know if I said that in my little speech this morning, but my suggestion to students that want to get into the broadcasting part of radio, find yourself a little AM radio station somewhere where you can be your own personality. And there's still some around. There's still some around where they'll let you be what you are. And at that point there, you can develop what you want to be. my suggestion for anybody wanting to go in radio is find that little AM station somewhere, and there's a lot of mom and pop stations still left in the country. You may have to travel, and get a job there, where you can show your personality, you can show your shtick, as they say. What I do now, and since I was at Oldies 99 for a long time, corporate owned, but Joey Mitchell, God rest his soul, was my program director. He gave me a little leeway at nighttime because that's all I ever did. Most of the time I was on radio at night. And that's a different game. It's a completely different ball game. Night radio versus day radio. Night radio, you had to be a priest, a rabbi, you had to be a psychologist, you had to be a psychiatrist. If I would sit here and tell you all the stories of telephone calls that I would get in the middle of the night, I could write a book, and I still may. I still may, because you had people that if I played a song, they would call and say, "Oh my God, that was when I went with my husband and he's not here anymore," and they'd start crying. And you got a lot of those calls. I had a suicide call one time. Nobody wanted to play this song. I'm going to kill myself. I said, "What? What am I? I'm sitting at a radio station. What am I? What do I say to somebody like that?" You get in those situations. Nighttime radio, and that's what I think. I love the challenge.
Wow. back then. What has been some of the craziest calls you received? Have there been any funnier ones or
lighthearted ones? I hope.
Well,
yeah.
Funny ones, probably not. Radio at nighttime, people were depressed. It was dark, and not many funny calls. But
what time is nighttime like?
Well, when
AM kind of nighttime?
Yeah, it would be early? Like when I would go on probably right around midnight till 6 in the morning.
Okay, wow.
So you had that time period there where people are depressed and they can't sleep, so they would turn the radio on. And there's Ned Richards. I'm going to call him. I'm just, talk to him and stuff like that. And you get some of these calls that I'm, that song you just. Well, I'm sorry I played that song, but that's on my list. If it brings back a bad memory, well, all right. How about if I play this song, which will give you a good memory, and we can both sit here and talk about it and laugh. And that was part of being a nighttime jock. As much as I enjoyed it, there has been a lot of telephone calls that were really sad. Like my father just passed away, and he loved Blueberry Hill by Fats Domino, and I'm crying because of it. I'm sorry, but I mean, it's all part of history. We're all not going to be here forever, and we all have those favorite songs. And if your parents was Blueberry Hill, it's played, and it shouldn't be a sad memory. It should be a good memory. So there's a psychology part of being a nighttime guy with somebody that's depressed on the radio or on telephone that calls me. Wow. So again, I'm saying nighttime radio versus daytime radio is like two different planets. It really is. Wow. And over the years, I've enjoyed the nighttime radio. I really have.
Compared to daytime radio?
I would not like to do daytime radio.
Why is that?
Because too formal.
It's too
formal.
Okay.
I mean, you had people coming in and out. When I first started radio, I was in a shirt and tie just like I am today. Mm-hmm. When I was doing nighttime, shorts and a T-shirt. Shoes off, no socks. Yeah. Nobody would come in. No big advertiser would come in,
Mm-hmm.
And so, and then you could get to talk to the people. You could hang on the phone, talk with the people that, that wanted to talk to you, had a problem. You would ask them why. Because a lot of times I would just go like 2-3 songs, and then I'd have to say, hang on a second, I got to give a break or, talk a liner note and say who I am and what we're doing or the weather or anything like that. Nighttime radio, I had a little more leeway of what I wanted to play. I did an all-request show, and that was the craziest thing I ever did because it just seemed like a guy would call up, "Can you play a song for my ex-wife?" I said, "Okay, what do you want to hear?" "Run Around Sue." I said, "What was her name?" "Wanda." "Well, it's not named Sue." "Well, still play the song." Every
That's
Saturday
terrible.
night. Every Saturday night was that. The one weirdest call I've ever gotten.
Oh,
and,
no.
and this is a dandy, trust me.
All right.
We always taped the conversations before we put it out on the air.
Uh-huh.
And I had 5 people helping me. An all-request show was really, really, really tough to do. One person can't do it. So I had a staff of 5 helping me. Well, this one guy called up. He said, "Hey, Ned." I said, "Yeah, he must have been on the bottle a little bit." He says, "I went to Notre Dame High School over there in Green Pond." I said, "Oh, great. Good little school, Catholic school." And he said, "Sister Rosemary is back." I said, "She is? Who is Sister Rosemary?" Well, anyway, he was saying about her, "She was the meanest teacher none you could think of. She cracked my knuckles more with a ruler than you could shake a stick at." "Okay, what would you like me to play?" "Well, Elton John, The Bitch Is Back." I went, "What? I can't play that. I can't even say that, And so you got stuff like that. And that song is a good song. I love the song. But when he said that, I said, "I can't put you on the radio. We can't do that." So Saturday night all request show was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that because you get to hear stories about everything. But Run Around Sue, that was usually in the first 5 minutes of the show. "Play it for my ex-wife. She was running around." Okay, Run Around Sue. There you go. So I said, I'm not going to play, like the one week I said, I'm not going to play this song till 10:30 so that all the people that have divorced wives can call me in and I can go right down the list. But that was fun times back then.
Oh my gosh! And what do you think college radio kind of serves for for radio really?
I think it's going to help you. It's going to either make you or break you, because here's what you want to do in radio. Is this what you want to do? It develops your personality, develops what you want to do. As far as radio is concerned, you have so much leeway to do things. You could have one show be a Christian hour, the next show you're heavy metal. So I mean, the diversity is great. I mean, I love this. I enjoyed this day so much with Happy Hour, and then now with you, Juliana. This is such a great time. And it's good. This is good radio, community radio. This is personality radio, where you will never see this in corporate radio, what you guys are doing here, because it's fun. It is fun.
Oh, yeah, I love doing this. It's one of my favorite parts of the day, for sure.
Is this what you really want to do?
I'm not
Let me interview you. Is this what you really want to do, Juliana?
We only have a few minutes. I don't know. I'm not sure what I want to do just yet. I've got some time. I don't know. I like it a lot. I would love to do something like that. I said I'd love to have my own talk show on TV. I even said.
And what would okay, here you go. Let me interview you. What would be the base of your talk show? What would you want to talk about?
Ooh.
I've said this a lot of the times before on Kutztown Live. I know a lot last year. I'd love to have my own kind of talk show like the Ellen Show, interview a lot of famous people, get them to come on, talk about what's happening in the world, different things like that kind of stuff.
A talk show today, you have to have very good anger management. There are people out there that will get under your skin and just make you crazy. Where you just want to shoot the phone.
Oh my goodness.
I could never, God bless you, if you want to do a talk show, I could never do that. I could never do a talk show. Very good friend of mine, Tony Bruno from ESPN television, sports, said to me, "Ned, I have an opening here in San Diego. You want to come out?" Because we went to school together. And I said, "Buddy, I can't tell you a first down." And I love sports. I follow football. I says, "I can't tell you a first down from fourth down. That's not my forte, It's just, I can't do that. I'm a music guy, and that's what I've always done." 2-minute warning. Thank you. Who says that? We can go on longer than that. Why? My
There's a show coming on right after us.
Well, that's all right. They can preempt then. They preempted me for 5 minutes talking about voting and all this and that, student council.
Right.
But in a summation of everything, you want to be on the radio, find a niche that you want to do. I did music, and that's what I've always done. And I'm doing it now on TV, WALN, on Service Electric, channels 128 and 137. You can watch Kristen Morgenstern and myself. She's a great co-host, young, bubbly, one of the best singers in the Lehigh Valley. And I'm going to say we're going to get nominated for cable television program, and I hope all of you vote for us. And for the Lehigh Valley Music Awards.
Oh, that's super cool.
So we're going to give that a shot. I've been nominated the last couple years, and this year I'm going to have her because she's just a great co-host. And having a co-host, you have to work together. You have to have that good rapport between the two of you. I do a doo-wop show on a Thursday night from 8 to 11 as well. And people look at me and they say, oh, wow, you're so wild and crazy. You're really a different person on Wednesday night to Thursday. Thursday, I'm this, okay, we just, settle back and kick back. And people have said, how could you do that? You go from wild and crazy, 60s guy, to refined personality on a Thursday night. The other good thing about television is what we do, and I'm going to do this quickly, you want to be on TV while you're doing a radio show. Very great concept WALN has, one of the best in the country, the very first in the country to do that as well. What's great about going to a deli, somebody sees you, hey, Ned, what a great show last night. Who's that? But it's good. It was fun being on this show, fun being interviewed. I enjoyed it. God bless all of you. You do a great job here. Continued success.
Thank you so much for stopping in today. And I know you spoke at our meeting this morning, and so thank you so much for that. And then I know you've been here all day giving some advice and words of wisdom to all the
okay.
to all the students here.
Don't go on radio.
No. All right. Thank you, Ned, for coming in, thank you to all of our other guests that stopped by this afternoon. And we will talk to you next Tuesday with more of Kutztown Live.